Hey, Brian Sullivan, founder of Precise Selling, with your weekly Precise Selling motivational tip. Now, this was a tough week for me. And it's because my little daughter finally turned 18 and was accepted into her first college. And like every sappy dad, I go to my office and I pull up all the iPhoto pictures taken over the years. And I go to Facebook and I look at all the things that were stored in there. And I came across a very specific picture. It was a picture of my daughter in a Cinderella gown when she was 5 years old. And of course I smiled and I tried to remember that day. And not only did it make me happy thinking about that day, but it reminded me of a huge lesson I learned on that day. Now, about 3 days before this big lesson day, my daughter pops into my office and says, "Hey, Daddy, I've got a great idea." Now, she was wearing this Cinderella gown, and she says, at the Pottery Playland, they're having a Pottery Playland party, and I get to wear my gown, and every other girl gets to wear Disney gowns, and we show up, and we can get this little ceramic thing, and we paint it, and we could turn it into a bank or anything we want. Would you be my date? Of course, like a good dad, I said, "I'd love to be your date." Now, we showed up at the Pottery Playland, and I look around, and it's me and about 15 moms, and of course, there's my daughter, Cinderella. I look across the table, there's Ariel and Belle, right? And every Disney character all dressed up, and these girls were having an absolute blast. Now, I sat down in my chair and watched my daughter. She started painting her little ceramic bear, and she was all over the map. I mean, it was horrible. She reminded me of Tammy Faye Baker's makeup artist. Now, just as I turn to the left, I see this woman and her daughter, and this woman is yelling at her daughter saying, "What are you doing? That's not how we paint. Is that really where the color goes?" And I saw this kid absolutely freeze up. It got to a point where the mom took the brush out of the kid's hand and started painting the bear for her. And then I thought, will that kid ever be able to take a risk? Will that kid ever feel free to maybe go outside these lines that we always talk about? Will this kid ever be able to let it go? And I thought, probably not, because of experiences that I had just witnessed. So I watched this, and then I picked my head up and I looked around, and I saw more parents painting their kids' ceramic projects, and I couldn't believe it. And I said, what is wrong with us? The fact that we don't teach them how to do things and let them fail, what a big mistake we make. And what a big mistake companies make, or maybe less than effective managers make. So the tip this week is for all of us, is even though we may do things our own way and feel it's the right way, let our team members do it a different way. Let them use their imagination and their creativity. That's what creates amazing companies, amazing sales regions, heck, amazing families, right? And so I guess one other tip this week is when you go back, I want you to pick one picture of a family member. Could be your kids, could be your husband, your wife, mom, dad, best friend, nieces, nephews, I don't care. And I want you to find that one picture. And I don't want you to just look at the picture saying, wow, that was cute, I remember that day. I want you to think of the lesson you learned that day. Because in this world of social media, it seems we are more interested in getting likes than we are in getting lessons. Each one of those pictures is a lesson if we just look for it. So, hope you enjoyed this weekly motivational tip. Come on back next week. Maybe I'll have another kid story. Who knows? My eye is wide open because there's a lot of learning and lessons to do. We'll see you next week.